Hello, and welcome to the Jay's Cultural Arts Corner podcast. I'm John Wilson, the Director of Cultural Arts at the Jay. And as I teased in episode 1, this is now episode 2, and I am with Rebekah Scallet. And Rebekah is the Artistic Director of the New Jewish Theater, and she's going to tell you a little bit about some upcoming productions. But for now, I just want to say welcome, Rebekah. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
So I would like to back up the camera or back up the calendar, as it were, and just find a little bit about your background. I know that you've been with the Jay maybe 6-ish months or so you're pretty new to your position. I've been here less than 2 months. I'm very new to my position. But yeah, just give us a little background about where you were before this and how ultimately you ended up at the Jay.
Sure. I started my career in Chicago, where I worked for several years in theater and doing various odd jobs like you do when you're in theater.
Yeah.
And then I had the opportunity in 2011 to move back home, where I grew up, to Little Rock, Arkansas, to take over as the producing artistic director of the Arkansas Shakespeare Theater, which is a summer Shakespeare festival located in Conway, Arkansas. So I did that for 9 years.
Oh, wow.
We put on 4 plays every summer, 3 Shakespeares and a musical. So I got to direct a lot of Shakespeare. I had a lot of fun. I also got to teach in the theater program at University of Central Arkansas, which I really enjoyed as well. But in 2020, my husband and I kind of decided it was time for some new life adventures. And so we moved with our family here to St. Louis. And St. Louis was not new to me because my grandparents, both sides of grandparents, were here. My parents were both born and raised in St. Louis.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's really cool. My parents moved to Arkansas when I was young, but we coming here for, Thanksgiving, Passover, summer holidays, all those things. My grandparents always used to save their theater programs for me when they knew that theater was the direction that I was going to go to. So I knew a little bit about the theater scene here from that. And I'm a big St. Louis Cardinals fan, so that's always been really cool. So when there was an opportunity for us to come here, we kind of jumped at it and knew it was a place where we could be happy. And then just recently in August, I had the opportunity to join the Jay as the artistic director of the New Jewish Theater. And that's been really exciting for me and a great fit for me.
That's wonderful. I love that background. And so I've been on the Kansas City side for 20 years, and I'm a bit of a Royals fan.
No.
So, there was the I-70 World Series.
Yep,
I think the Royals.
A while back.
Okay, yes, a while back. But yeah, 2 teams I'm actually very excited for Missouri as a state, because the Royals have done well. The Cardinals have been always doing well. Chiefs just did well. So anyway, that's fun to know that about you. And I'm familiar with St. Louis as well. My wife's family is from here, so we were making the trek across I-70 for decades, visiting family here, and then we just came here back in August of 2021. So anyway. Okay, so that's some fun background on the two of us. So you came into the 24th season, and some of the 25th season was already planned, and you jumped in. And so tell me a little bit about your take on the mission or the vision for the New Jewish Theater, and how that resonates with you now, and how you want to carry that forward.
Yeah, it's been really fantastic, coming in to such a strong company. It's got an amazing history behind it. And one of the first things when I started working for New Jewish Theater, I went to the shows and got the chance to meet our patrons and our supporters and people who I've heard over and over again. I've been here since the beginning. It's a badge of honor for people. And I just love that, because there's so much love and so much support, and it's such a meaningful institution to the community. And so it's really an honor to get to be the person that gets to lead that. So I want to, honor the work and the legacy that has come before me in these past 24 years, while also looking to the future and looking to what I can bring to its future.
Yeah.
A big part of the mission that has always resonated with me is to present universal stories through a Jewish lens, and I think Judaism is a big part of our core and of what we do, but it's not everything that we do. Right. And I think there's a lot to be found in a lot of different kinds of materials and plays. So we're going to continue looking at all different kinds of work like we're doing with this season. We've got a variety of plays and playwrights, and offering an opportunity for people to come to the theater and to walk in someone else's shoes for a little while, see someone's life and story that's different than their own, and put to use theater's superpower, which I think is empathy, and I think is so important. So I want that to be part of what the New Jewish Theater does. And as we continue to do plays, all kinds of plays that will appeal to the whole St. Louis community, not just the Jewish community.
Oh, that is so well said, and I love the idea of theater having a superpower. I agree. I'm a theater guy. I think theater does have a superpower, and I think you're right. I think it is empathy. This whole idea of just exploring what it means to be human and finding out how we can learn and grow from other people's stories, how we identify what we see on stage with what's happened on our lives, or how we see what's happened on stage and how we can then identify with those around us. And so empathy is a great superpower. So I think that's extremely well said. Well, let's take a moment and focus on the very next show that is coming up really, really quickly. And maybe tell us, the title, a little bit about the show, and then the fact that it has one actor, one star of that show. So just, tell us what's coming up next.
Yeah, our next production is Every Brilliant Thing by Duncan Macmillan, and it is a one-person play. As you said, it's going to be starring Will Bonfiglio, who is a favorite at the J.
I have heard this.
Yes, he is well loved by our subscribers, and I can see why from just seeing a little bit of him. He's a really fantastic actor and a wonderful person. And most recently, he was in the production Fully Committed with us in 2019, where he worked with director Ellie Schweddy, who is also directing Every Brilliant Thing for us.
Yeah,
so actually,
Fully Committed is another one-person show, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this was actually a project that they both were really excited about working on together.
Oh, that's great.
So it's really awesome that the New Jersey Theater gets to be the home for that production. And the play is really unique in that it's a one-person show, but there are more multi-characters, and actually the audience is sort of asked to step in and play those different roles.
What?
Yeah.
What?
So it's sort of like the father, a school counselor, things like that. Now, they don't have to read lines, but they do have to participate quite a bit, and that's something that's really cool. I also think the play is great because it's super imaginative.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have a lot of props. It doesn't have a lot of set. It just asks the audience to sort of use their imagination to go through these life events with Will. And it takes on some pretty heavy topics. It talks about depression and suicide, and the importance of mental health and these experiences that I think so many of us go through, maybe even more now since everything with COVID.
Yeah.
But it does it in a really life-affirming, beautiful, and funny way. So I think you leave feeling very up and positive. A big part of the show, it's called Every Brilliant Thing because the main character makes a list over his lifetime of everything that is beautiful and brilliant in the world. And we're going to be asking the audience to add to that list by writing down their own brilliant things when they come to the theater. But it sort of reminds you of how much beauty and how much joy there is, even though there's also challenges and sadness.
This sounds like such a unique production. I love the idea that we are going to be engaging with our audience and that people could find themselves being looked to be a stand-in and kind of do some improv with Will, and I think that's a really unique way to tell the story. And I really love the idea also. I mean, the whole the whole convention of theater is the imagination.
Yeah.
So to be able to strip away some of the realism in a set and to strip away the props and stuff like that and just let us all come into the space and just use our imagination. I think that's great. And I can't think of a better theme for a show just to address so much of the hardships that we all feel at different ages as adults in the 21st century. But
Yeah.
I mean, especially as a global family coming out of the pandemic. So I think this is going to resonate really, really well.
Yeah.
So in 2022, that season, we found out, was just recognized by the St. Louis Circle Theater Awards with some honors. Why don't you transition to that and tell us what we are being nominated for or recognized or what have you?
Yeah, so we were nominated for 10 St. Louis Theater Circle Awards, which is really exciting. That's a lot of nominations.
That is a lot.
So we're very proud of that. And it's particularly exciting because each one of the productions that we did in 2022 was nominated for something.
Oh, that's great.
So it just shows the breadth of our work and how much talent there is out there. I mean, there's so much talent in the entire St. Louis theater community, and it's really exciting to be a part of that alongside all these other talented people. But yeah, really, really great nominations. In particular, our productions of Dear Jack, Dear Louise, that was nominated for Best Production of a Comedy, which is great.
Oh,
and
that's
also
great.
Laughter on the 23rd Floor was nominated for Best Ensemble for a Comedy, which was a bunch of really hilarious people in that show, and it was a lot of fun. So it's just exciting to see all that, and I'm so thrilled for everybody that their work gets to be acknowledged in that way.
Yeah, and those are big awards because when you're talking about an ensemble, you're talking about every member of that cast, being recognized as being, really excellent. So, well, good for NJT. 10 2022 nominations with the St. Louis Theater Circle Awards. That's really, really impressive. All right. Well, focusing back on Every Brilliant Thing, as we wrap this up, why don't you give us some important ticket information as far as how, what the dates are and how people might get tickets?
Yeah, so we open on March 16th and we'll run through April 2nd. And we have performances on Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. We take Friday off for Shabbat, but you can see it the other nights. And you can go to www.newjewishtheater.org, and all the information there on how to buy tickets is there, and more info about the show as well.
All right, and I was savvy enough to bring the box office phone number.
Thank you very much.
But not savvy enough to memorize it. But our patrons can also call 314-442-3283. They can talk to the lovely Hannah Ryan, who will take their ticket order over the phone if we want to have them get tickets that way. So, Rebekah, is there any final thoughts just about the New Jewish Theater, about this particular show, just about your journey with theater or Judaism or what have you? Just what do you want to leave us with?
Well, I have just been really excited to get to be a part of the community at the J itself. They do so many wonderful things, so many wonderful programs. The New Jewish Theater is just one small piece of the gigantic organization, and I am grateful that theater and the arts are a part of their mission, of the overall J's mission, that we get to help fulfill that, and it's wonderful to be part of that larger organization and bring my passions for theater and my passions for Judaism together in this way is really wonderful.
Well, I couldn't agree more, and that's one thing that really attracted me to the job as well. Not only do we have the Jewish Book Festival, the Jewish Film Festival, the New Jewish Theater, the Youth Theater Program, but then we've got all this, adult daycare programs and Sabra and just, there's just so many different ways, yet alone this like amazing, workout facility and,
yes.
and everything that we have there. So it's a great organization. It's really a gem in St. Louis, and I mean gem, not Jim.
It's a gem and a gem.
It is a gem and a gem, actually.
Yeah.
Good point. So, but yeah, I feel very thankful to be working here. I feel very thankful to be working with you. I think you're a consummate professional. I can just tell that the New Jewish Theater under your stewardship is only going to grow, and I'm sure there'll be more awards coming in the 25th season and beyond. And so I just want to just thank you for all the excellent and hard work that you do, because you do work hard every single day. I see it. I'm just down the hall and I see it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that has been episode 2 of the Cultural Arts Corner at the J. I want to remind you that you can get your tickets for Every Brilliant Thing, which opens March 16th and runs through April 2nd. So we hope to see you at the theater, and we've got single ticket prices and we've got group rates. And so call Hannah, go online and get your tickets and come see this marvelous and poignant one-person play in which you might play a role. So thanks for joining us today, and we'll see what's coming up for episode 3. That's still somewhere in my imagination, so keep your ears and eyes peeled for that one. So thanks for joining us, Rebekah. Thank you for joining us today, and break a leg with Every Brilliant Thing.